Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
The coronavirus continues to spread around the globe tonight. Good evening, I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. At least 11 people have died in the U.S. Today, the first death was reported in California as the state declares an emergency. Officials are rushing to contain the virus in New York before it spreads further. ABC's Megan Tavrezian is in New York with the very latest.
In New York, a scramble to contain COVID-19. About 1,000 people ordered to self-quarantine, stemming from one patient now being treated in a New York City hospital.
It is an imperfect science, especially when you have a situation like this one where you have a person who may have contacted so many people.
Additional cases in New York today tied to the 50-year-old patient from Westchester County, his wife, 2 of his children, a neighbor who drove him to the hospital, and another family connected to his law firm all tested positive.
There are going to be hundreds in Westchester.
In California, officials say the state's first death is likely connected to this Grand Princess cruise ship that traveled from San Francisco to Mexico. The ship now back on its way to California. Princess Cruises working with the Centers for Disease Control about what to do next. This as Los Angeles County declares a state of emergency with the confirmation of 6 additional cases of COVID-19.
We need every tool at our disposal to make sure we're ready to support any coronavirus patients who are diagnosed and to prevent any further spread.
The death toll in the U.S. jumping to at least 11. Many archdioceses across the country suspending physical contact during Lent. And the virus's impact being felt worldwide. In Italy, all schools and universities ordered to close until mid-March. Iran temporarily freeing 54,000 prisoners over the fears the virus will spread.
And in China, a new study identified 2 strains of the virus, one more aggressive than the other, but additional comprehensive studies are needed. Meanwhile, Congress today agreed on an $8.3 billion emergency funding bill to deal with COVID-19. The Senate is expected to approve the bill Thursday. Megan Tavrezian, ABC News, New York.
As the coronavirus continues to claim lives, 5 people at a nursing home in Washington state are now among the dead. It happened after an outbreak that sickened at least 50 more people at that same facility. Our 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena spoke to a local doctor and a nursing home operator about the precautions that they now face here in San Diego.
With a major outbreak of coronavirus now at a nursing home near Seattle, other facilities are on high alert.
And so by the time they started thinking, hey, maybe this is the new coronavirus, by then they had 50 sick people.
Carl Steinberg is the doctor and operates 2 nursing homes in the North County. He says they're taking as many precautions as possible, including frequent hand washing and...
We're screening all visitors to the building. We're also ensuring that the employees don't work sick. And those are probably the main things.
Dr. Steinberg tells 10 News they're also recommending masks for people inside their facilities.
Among our residents, there's definitely a fear that it's going to hit, and when it hits, it's going to hit hard.
He says the California Department of Public Health has issued guidelines all nursing homes should be following right now. And at this point, everyone is simply hoping what happened in Washington doesn't happen again.
This seems to be in a different category just because it seems that the mortality rate, at least based on Kirkland, is so high.
Lindsay Pena, 10 News.
Again, Dr. Steinberg stresses if you think you may be sick, please don't visit a loved one in a nursing facility. Your voice, your vote as we wait for all of the ballots to be counted. Here's where things stand after the election night for some of San Diego's biggest measures and races. Measure A, which would require public votes on most large housing projects in rural parts of the county, is narrowly losing 51 to 49%. The results are not close for Measure B, which would allow 2,100 homes in the Newland Sierra project. It's going down to defeat 58 to 42%.
Measure C would raise the hotel tax to fund expanding the convention center, homeless services, and road repairs. It had strong support, but the 64% who voted yes is just short of the 2/3 majority needed to pass. So right now it is headed for defeat. Also in the San Diego mayor's race, Todd Gloria is heading to the general election in November. His opponent at the moment is Scott Sherman, who has about a 3,000 vote lead over Barbara Bree. But this will be a key race to watch as more returns come in.
In the 50th Congressional District, it looks as though Democrat Amar Campa will face off against Republican Darrell Issa in November. Issa is about 5,000 votes ahead of fellow Republican Carl DeMaio. This is the seat formerly held by Congressman Duncan Hunter.
All right, now to the latest in the race for the White House. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg dropped out of the race this morning and immediately endorsed Joe Biden. Biden had a big win last night, sweeping through the South. But the race, it is still far from over. He's running neck and neck with Bernie Sanders in the delegate count. ABC's Serena Marshall reports from Washington.
What a difference a night makes. Joe Biden today being dubbed the comeback candidate.
Look, we're going to bring together all Americans, and we did that. We showed that last night.
The former vice president winning 10 out of 15 Super Tuesday contests, including upsets in Minnesota and Texas, and pulling out victories in Massachusetts and adding Maine to the list late today. 2 states in Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders' backyard.
We have to put in a bigger, broader vision for this nation and make it happen. But first we have to defeat Donald Trump.
The big wins coming after those big endorsements. Another announced just today.
I've always believed that defeating Donald Trump starts with uniting behind the candidate with the best shot to do it. And after yesterday's vote, it is clear that candidate is my friend and a great American, Joe Biden.
Michael Bloomberg had poured more than $500 million into his campaign and didn't win a single state, now promising those vast resources to Biden, who currently leads in the overall delegate race, the popular vote, and in the hunt for Super Tuesday delegates. He's also won the most states so far, but Bernie Sanders on his heels, winning Utah, Colorado, and his home state of Vermont, and continues to lead in California with their 400-plus delegates. But today, Sanders not hiding his disappointment.
Of course I'm disappointed. I would like to win every state by a landslide. It's not going to happen. What we are trying to do is unprecedented. All right? We are talking about a political revolution.
Senator Elizabeth Warren's also still in this race, but after coming in third in her home state of Massachusetts this morning, the senator's staff says she was talking to them about the path forward. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
And we have complete election results on 10news.com. Just click on the election results page at the top of the homepage.
San Diego police released footage from the night officers shot and killed a man in Oak Park in January. A warning, the video may be difficult to watch. Police say they spotted Toby Diller walking with an open container of alcohol at 54th and College Grove Drive. You see him here in this street light camera video. 2 officers pull up in front of him and he takes off running. The body camera footage then captures the officers chasing after him and knocking him to the ground. Officers ask him several times to stop resisting arrest, and they struggled for a while. They say Diller then grabbed the holster and the gun from one of the officers.
He's got my gun!
The other officer shot Diller. He died at the scene. His family told us they don't agree with the police department's account of what happened.
The man accused of plowing a U-Haul into a crowd of people in Encinitas pleaded not guilty today. That's Christian Davis. He stood next to his attorney with his head down for the most of the time in court as he was formally charged with premeditated murder, assault with a deadly weapon, and DUI. This past Sunday, he was asked to leave the saloon and Shelters Bar because he was drunk. Prosecutors say that Davis then got into a fight with bouncers and threatened them.
It escalated and culminated with Davis telling the security guards, "You're going to regret doing this. I'm going to come back and I'm going to kill you."
And after that, witnesses say that he drove that U-Haul van into a crowd outside the bar. 2 men were seriously hurt. Another has severe injuries. Davis could spend life in prison if convicted.
The city of Nashville is reeling tonight after a historic tornado killed at least 25 people. Winds reached 165 miles per hour early Tuesday morning. Right now, thousands are still without power. One man whose sister and brother-in-law died in the storm says their bodies were found 50 yards from the home.
This is the front porch, and beyond that porch was the home itself.
It's gone.
It's completely gone.
The youngest victim in the storm was just 2 years old. The search is continuing on the ground and in the air for people still missing.